start the About Me page design project. This is kind of your first big project in J2 where you kind of have free reign to do a lot of different things and kind of show off what your design style is going to be like. That example page you just watched me design, I'm not going to lie, there's probably some things on here that you just won't know how to do yet, and that's totally fine. Like changing the color of the MU logo and the Missouri and all that stuff. Like I did download those and edit them on Photoshop. So don't expect your page to end up looking quite like this. If it does and you have experience with graphic design and Photoshop and InDesign, then go for it. Show off your skills. I want to see what you can do, so have fun. But again, don't feel like your page should be totally perfect and beautiful. You guys are still definitely learning InDesign. And the main goal of this project is really to show me that you can do a couple of things. One, you can lay out your page in these nice squares and rectangles. I don't know if I've taught this yet, or if you guys have talked about it at all, but when you're designing, we call them packages or content. Like this is a package right here. Why do you teach journalism? This fast facts, this is a package. I'd like you all to meet my family. This is a package. When you're designing your packages of content, you want them to be in perfect squares and perfect rectangles. So we could draw a rectangle around this and everything fits in. We could likewise do that here. We've got this nice perfect rectangle. Notice that my text ends at on the same lines everywhere here. So watch out for that. You want your text to always end on the same line all the way across. And then we've got another rectangle down here. And again, the text is all ending on the same lines on each of those boxes. So that's important. What you don't want, and what I see very, very often in these first couple of designs that you guys get, is what I call Tetris pieces. That's where you have maybe a piece of content that goes down here and then also takes up this space down here. Avoid Tetris pieces. You don't want those. You don't want to design in circles. Circles leave a lot of dead, trapped white space. So avoid circles as much as you can. I have a circle on here and you can see that trapped, dead white space. So don't use like big circles to put your content in. That's kind of messy. So that's point one, like make sure you're designing in rectangles and squares. And point two is make sure you're designing within these columns. So I'll show you how to put your columns on here. We're going to design with 6 columns on here. But do you see how this fast facts box starts on this column and then it ends on this one? Okay, so it takes up 1, 2 columns. Why You Teach Journalism is taking up 4 columns. It starts right here perfectly, takes up 1, 2, 3, and ends over here on that purple line. And then down here, this is taking up all 6 of the columns. Another thing I want to make sure that you're doing is staying within the margins with your content. So we're ending on the pink line, we're ending on the purple line, so we don't have anything going off. The question mark kind of goes off, but that doesn't bother me. If you've got, I don't know, if you decide to put a cutout on here or something, or you put like a background color and that goes outside the margins, that's fine. You just don't want any actual content going outside the margins, like your photos or your text. So stay within the margins if you can. And then I don't remember if on my previous videos if I showed you how to make a pica box, but we use pica boxes just to space things and keep things kind of clean. This space right here between your columns is going to automatically be a pica. But in order to get a pica between this space and this space, we have to draw that. So if you click on the rectangular tool, click and hold the shift button while you drag. And then up here, you're going to get a size. We're going to go ahead and put 1P. So now I have a pica box happening here. I'm going to go ahead and give it a color. Black is fine. And so now this box is going to help me measure the distance between things. And so that's how I used it. I put it here and then I pulled down a ruler. Rulers are really, really helpful to make sure that you're getting everything aligned. And you should have your rulers at the top right here. If you click and drag, you can pull down a ruler. You can also click on a ruler and delete it if you don't like it. It's not like it's going to show up in your design. It's just there to help you. And you can also pull them from over here. Okay, so those are our rulers. I'm going to actually delete these so it's a little cleaner. And then one big thing with your pica boxes when you're using them is make sure you always delete them when you're done. We actually printed the yearbook a couple years ago with a Pega box, and that was embarrassing. And I know we've done it with the newspaper in the past couple years too, so just be careful with that. When you're actually starting this project, let's go through. Was there anything else I want to show you? Oh, one other thing, maybe two. Try and use, I only want you guys using maybe 2 fonts on this spread. So for me, I used, I don't know how to pronounce that, this guy. And then I use this cursive font, Leslie Dawn. And you can change like the like how strong that stroke is or whatever on it. If you want it more bold or whatever, that's fine. And you can change that throughout. Like this is more bold than here. But just keep it to those 2 fonts. When we start adding more than 2 fonts, things get really, really messy. So yeah, just keep it to 2. And I would suggest like using different kinds of fonts, like a sans serif with a serif, or a sans serif like this with a cursive font works pretty well in my opinion. And then I would also recommend maybe trying not to do a color explosion. So if you find yourself using like 5 or 6 different colors, ask yourself why you're doing that, unless it's like super intentional and you know, are trying to make a statement with different colors, or you want a really colorful page. It just looks kind of busy. On this page, I really just used black, white, and then different shades of that purple. So that's, I'll let you be a little more, like it's up to you on the color front, but definitely with the fonts, keep it to 2. As a reminder, I would like to see poll color happening, and that's happening down here. And the way that we do that, just a quick reminder, is if we highlight our text. Oh, I drew a rectangle on here, that's why. If we highlight our text and we come over to our eyedropper tool, make sure you have the normal eyedropper tool, not the color theme. And then you can pull that color from anywhere in your photo, and you should see it show up here. So try and have that going on. And then I do want you to have a text wrap going on in your page. Mine is happening right here. And the way that we do that is, so for like, I grouped my caption with my photo. And the way you do that, here, let me go ahead and ungroup it. Is we can click on the caption, we can click on the photo. So they're both clicked at the same time. I'm gonna go up to object and group. And now they're grouped together. And then to mess with the text wrap, window text wrap, and I can see that. And you can see right now, these are no longer aligned because my text wrap has been changed. So now I have to go through and kind of redo that real quick. You're going to turn on your text wrap, wrap around. Whoopsies, my bad. Oh, this needs to be brought to the front. All right. Oh, that's why. Had it at 4. Okay, sorry. If you look right now, these words are not aligned. I'm going to pull a ruler down. And I'm looking for this students to line up with the bottom there. So while I have this clicked, I'm going to extend the bottom, just the bottom. I've unlocked this so they're not all pushing the same amount. And I'm going to keep going until there. Perfect. Now they're all aligned. Again, that's super technical, and if it's too much for you guys without me there, I'm not like going to freak out or anything. All right. So that is the basics of what I want your pages to kind of look like. Now, if we look at some of the directions, I'll walk you through that real quick. So you're going to take the first 5 minutes or so to plan out your page. You want your page to have 3 or 4 different sections, at least 3 photos, and your name needs to be on it somewhere. The top is usually the go-to place for that. Some sections ideas I jotted down for you, and you're totally free to come up with different ones. Fast facts are easy. How did you spend your summer? Your hobbies or sports? What are your favorite movies? Or you can do anything with that. Favorite food, favorite books, whatever. How do you spend your time? That can be kind of fun if you wanted to make like a pie chart or something. Or a bar graph would probably be easier. I'll show you guys how to make pie charts when I get back. But we're not going to dabble with that for this project quite yet. Anything like that. You can talk about your family, talk about your friends, your schedule. You could even design that. Anything like that. Kind of have fun with that. And if you want them all to be written, like you can totally do that. You don't have to do something kind of graphically going on here. You could just have just photos and text going on. That's completely fine. So you're going to create a new document and name it your last name, January, about me. and it needs to be 6 columns in a letter size. So how we do that is we're going to go to File, New. Oh, not book. We are not making a book. Sorry. File, New Document. And then here is where you can go to Print, and you'll choose Letter, and then you're going to up your columns to 6. And that should give you a blank page with 6 columns for you to design. Perfect. And this is where you'll be drawing your rectangles or your squares, right? And they're going to start and end where the columns start and end. Okay? Pay attention to that. Make sure your document is saved to your desktop and periodically save as you design. So right when you open it, wherever you're working, you're going to go to File, Save As. You're going to save it as your last name, and then January about me, and you'll click Save. I'm not going to resave this. And make sure you're periodically, Command S is save. Make sure you're periodically saving as you design in case InDesign quits on you. And that happens and you don't want to lose all your work. So every 5-10 minutes, Command S just to save. Then you're going to begin designing your page. If there's photos that you want to use and they're on your phone, go ahead and email those to yourself. You've probably noticed you don't get great service in my room, so you might have to go to a different part of the building. Or what I would suggest is email them to yourself tonight, and then you can work on them a little bit more in class next week, or this week, sorry. But you can still just keep designing even if you don't have your photos. So don't tell Mrs. Morrison that you're waiting to start on your page because your photos haven't emailed to you yet. Go ahead and start working on the other content, and you can just leave a blank spot for your photo until you get them downloaded. For your page, you need the following. Like I said earlier, 3 different sections, clearly labeled, clean rectangles or squares, not Tetris pieces. 1 pica to separate your sections. I want to see at least 3 photos going on, written content that describes you or whatever it is about you that you are sharing. You do need some blurb of written content going on there. Make sure you're staying within the columns. You're only using 1 or 2 different fonts. And you're using the entire page within the margin, so there shouldn't be any blank spaces. What I mean by that is, let's say Kaya and Noli didn't exist. You would not turn in a page like this. This is empty. So make sure that you are keeping everything filled. And then all text should be, to one item, I want to see a text wrap on there if you can. Ask each other for help. This class is all about teamwork and working together. So if you've figured something out and you hear someone struggling with it, please, please, please help them. And then all text should be legible. So make sure you're not making like a super busy background or really dark and then your text is too dark to read it. When you are done, you're going to PDF it as a high quality print and submit the completed PDF onto Google Classroom. You guys are going to critique these as a class, so please don't put anything inappropriate on there or anything that you wouldn't want shared with the class. And I do use these at parent-teacher conferences. I definitely show your parents, like, look what they designed. This is about them. Isn't this fun? So don't put anything on there that you don't want your parents to know about either. Okay? If you have any major issues, feel free to email me, Kirksey, and I'll get back to you. I'm also considering hopping on a Zoom if that would be helpful, like during class, if you guys are super struggling with InDesign and you want to Zoom me and kind of show me your issues and I can walk you through that. So if that would be helpful for you too, go ahead and shoot me an email and I will do that. This is one of my favorite projects. I love seeing what you guys come up with. So have fun with it. Please don't fly through it. Like, take your time. Design is all about super meticulous details, like zooming in, looking at those details, and that'll all be really helpful. Oh, one other thing that's really helpful that I don't know if I told you in another video, if you hold down Option and then drag, you get a copy of something, and that when you're trying to do things that are like designed similarly, you can, let's see, we got both of these. I held Shift to click on both of these, and now I'm going to press Option, and now I have that headline all over again, which is really helpful. So just a little helpful tip. I'm trying to think if there's any other big things I want to tell you. Oh, I want to show you how to PDF. Yes. All right. We're PDFing these the same way that hopefully you have been. File, Adobe PDF Presets, high quality print. And it should already have your last name, About Me 2021, or just About Me is fine, January About Me. And then save it to your desktop or wherever you're going to be able to find it. You'll press save. It's going to give you all these options. You don't need to worry about any of these because it's just one page. And you'll click export, and that'll give you your PDF. Make sure you're turning in the PDF on Google Classroom and not the InDesign file. All right. Again, happy for any questions. Good luck. Sorry, just one last super quick thing. I wanted to show you what I meant by draw out your page. So this is what I drew before I touched InDesign. These are like the plans I had for my page before I even got onto InDesign. Please, please, please do this. It helps you kind of focus and like make a plan for what you want to do. If you just start with a blank page, things can get really, I don't know, messy really fast, and you don't really, you'll end up with some dead space that you don't want. So draw out what you want to do. If it changes, that's totally fine. Like this isn't in there. I was going to do a poll quote over here, but now that I've designed it, like there's clearly no room. It would look really busy if I wanted to do that. My headlines changed. So it doesn't have to look the exact same when you're done, but do draw this. And I want a picture of this. I want a picture of this turned in with your final PDF. So you're going to take a picture of your paper. You're going to email that to yourself or whatever, get that submitted onto Google Classroom along with your final PDF. And then lastly, I just wanted to show you one other example page that we had from a student in the past that was really clean and pretty simple looking. So if yours ends up looking like this simple, that's fine. If text wrap is just like the worst for you and you can't figure it out, that's totally fine. Drop me a note on Google Classroom. That would just be helpful for us, me and Mrs. Morrison, to know why there isn't any text wrap. Just say like I tried and it was the worst and I hate it. That's totally fine. So this is just another clean example. You can tell that he was using 2 columns for each of these. And we've got that clean, perfect white pica space between everything too. All right, good luck.